Hello, everybody. I want to talk to you about something going on in Oregon, folks. I've been watching this development for a better part of a week. First off, there is a long list of history on this subject. This involves the Bundy family, the Ammon family. In Oregon, there's hundreds of things involving this, folks. But Ammon Bundy, the Ammon family, and 100 Patriots, some are saying 100, 150, have taken and are currently holding, supposedly, an Oregon federal building, and are basically saying they are not going to give this property up. This is the headquarters of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge. They're vowing to occupy the remote federal outpost 50 miles southeast of Burns for years. And Ammon Bundy is the son of the Bundy family that was 2 years ago in the news for their cattle ranch standoff with the BLM. So they supposedly have 100, 150 men on site, and supposedly more and more and more are coming to their aid. Folks, I don't want to report too much of this one way or another because I really do feel that they're starting to crack down on some of this stuff. Just last night, I was on the internet and I mentioned an internet rumor, and my Facebook account had been hacked, and there was some very, very unhappy things said about one of my photos. And although I know that that's just the way the internet works, it is an unfortunate thing that this is starting to come down. And as you know, there was a 73 and 78-year-old person who not too long ago was threatened. There were signs in Oregon in this one county saying militia go home, and there were assaults on militia. This individual story here, I'm not even so sure I can even begin to tell you what happened. But basically, the Ammon and the Bundy family, have basically gotten together, and there was some kind of a protest. And after that, it basically got out of hand. And the way that Ammon Ranch family is involved in this, supposedly, is they had 300,000 head of cattle, and BLM and other persons were trying to run a fence through their property. A lot of people are saying this is going to be similar to the Alamo, folks. There's even a video posted by a on-the-ground militiaman saying goodbye to his family. It's a real weird video, folks. This is coming out of John Sepulvado, his Twitter. Nick Martin basically is talking about Clive and Bundy journalists, and how there's 150 militia, or at least at that time, and that was about 22 hours ago, so there's probably a lot more. They've been running this story all day, folks. I've seen it twice on Fox. I've seen it twice on CNN. Ammon Bundy, which I just corrected on this, has said that he and these fellow Americans are not terrorists, and that what they're doing is right. I don't see this as being right at this point, and so I'm kind of looking at this going, there's going to be some developments here, folks, that are going to hurt some people. And basically what's going on, this is going to be like a, one of those standoffs, folks. So anyways, folks, there's a lot going on here. I'm just kind of trying to go through the Twitter pages. Wanda Moore of Wanda KTVZ has announced militia group members occupying Malheur Wildlife Refuge. Les Zetz, Bundy & Co. have picked isolated place and make a stand, a refuge way out in the desert where it'll get 10 or negative 10 or so tonight. Ammon Bundy said in his Facebook video, they've taken over the refuge to use militia base for years, called Patriots from the U.S. to come. Guess that's supposed to say all around the U.S. This looks like the OK Corral, folks. You know, every major American standoff has one of these settings, folks. I mean, we always kind of remember the Alamo, where 300 men defended themselves against Santa Anna. We remember the U.S. Revolution, where Bunker Hill, 100 or so men defended the fort, and I believe only one or two of those men lived afterward, and the British, I believe, killed them all. I believe. Alright, guys, I got a statement here from Harney County Sheriff Dave Ward. After the peaceful rally was completed today, a group outside militants drove to Malheur Wildlife Refuge, where they seized and occupied the refuge headquarters. A collective effort from multiple agencies is currently working on a solution. For the time being, please stay away from that area. More information will be provided as it becomes available. Please maintain a peaceful and united front and allow us to work through this situation. I have like 7-8 sources here, folks, and I'm barely able to scrape together everything. I do know that there was a situation where a district federal judge seeking Dwight and Stephen's return from federal prison for 5 years did happen. That was involving something going on in 2014 and 2013. So there's a bunch of stuff here as to what's going on and what's not. I don't want to put the details out there word for word, letter by letter, because I am kind of starting to fear for my safety. And I'm not just rattling the sticks here. I am actually kind of starting to feel like there might have to be a time when I have to stop doing this for my own personal situation. But I have about 5 or 6 sources. You guys can look this up and find your own. It's all basically the same thing. And, you know, there's all kinds of things on Twitter on this, folks. So you're going to have to go into this and look. Bundy Ranch had something on Twitter. Breaking share, standing for the right of men and women, calling on all freedom-loving people of Harney County, Oregon, to come to the Walheur Wildlife Refuge. The people, quote unquote, are finally getting some good use out of the federal facility. Militia update: local school district in Burns announced it'll keep schools closed all week because of the militia situation. What's happening? There's all kinds of speculation. I mean, this is just right out of the freaking books, folks. I don't even know what the over-the-top situation was that went from the protest to this, but evidently somebody was not happy with the results of the protest. And Ammon Bundy, it looks like him and various others, said, fine, we're just going to go do this. And basically, here's coming from Ian Culligan. I talked with Ryan Bundy on the phone again. He said, basically, what we all are thinking, they're willing to do it is necessary. Kind of kill or be killed situation. Hashtag Oregon under attack. This is bad, folks. I got a funny feeling those shots have already been fired, and we probably won't even know about it. Personally, I don't know why the hell they used this facility. Why they decided to take this. This was unnecessary. I'm not saying that they didn't have some reason or another why this facility in particular was one thing versus another and why they decided to take this, but it's one thing to protect your friends and your family, folks, your property, folks, and it's kind of another to just seize a property of the government. And I'm sure there's all kinds of reasons why they chose this facility, and I'm sure it's loaded with bad money, bad politics, bad everything. I mean, you can go through these night and day, folks. These papers. I mean, these are easily pages and pages and pages and pages long. I mean, just pages of information on the history and everything else. You can find this on BBC, Fox News, CNN. I was just watching this on CNN, and I mean it. This is automatically on the big news this time, folks. I got a funny feeling this is going to end bad. A buddy of mine, well, not really a buddy of mine, but somebody told me about something similar to this that was developing. But what they lacked to do was to give me the details so that I could put up like a pre-video of like the parade and the rioting, all the stuff outside, and all the information thereof. But it does look like Ammon Bundy, Hammond family, and 150 now, probably close to probably about 3 to 500 Patriots, supposedly have taken and hold this wildlife federal building. Folks, I don't know what to tell you. Between this and the Saudi Arabian Iran thing today, I don't know what to tell you, folks. Keep them in your prayers and everything. This ain't going to be good, folks. This is not going to end well. I do not know why they decided to take this facility, but I personally think that by choosing this facility, they threw their cause out the window. And CNN basically has Ammon Bundy saying they're not terrorists and they're not this and they're not that. Well, that's fine and everything. We'll see how this ends up. I don't believe they're terrorists, but you know, this is stuff that happened in the Ukraine. Only difference is these guys now have guns. Where in Ukraine, they didn't have guns. I'm not saying I don't support these guys into some aspect or another. However, I don't understand all the details to say that I support them. Bundy Ranch was about protecting their own property. I would have definitely gone down there to help out. But to take and hold a federal building, I don't know exactly how good that's going to be, folks. I don't know how much food and supplies they have. I imagine at some point the El Federales are going to cut power and resources to that facility. That's personally what I would do. I'd cut all the resources. Ain't going to do much, but it's going to do enough. Just cut that grid. I don't want to see that happen to these Patriots. But personally, I don't know why they decided to take this facility. I'm not saying it probably wasn't a good cause to them. But it looks like they're done playing games, folks. And I think quite soon we're going to see that there are people who did take shots who were unfortunately put down over this. Like I said, I completely supported the defense of the Bundy Ranch property, even if it had shown that they had been illegally doing their taxes and stuff and withholding taxes from the federal government, BLM, and everybody else. But I do not see any honor in taking and holding a federal building. I don't know their reasoning. My prayers are with everybody. God bless you, gentlemen. This may just be our Alamo, folks. Pray for him. Pray for everybody.